Hi guys, I'm Paul.
And I'm Bea.
And this is Everything is Buffalo.
We are so excited to record this video today because it is all about the Fiesta of San Fermin in Pamplona. For the majority of the people, they associate San Fermin with the running of the bulls, but actually this is a 9-day event, so there's a lot of festivities and a lot of people don't know about them.
We are very fortunate Alejandra of Alevia Travel reached out to us to invite us to watch the Chupinazo, which is the opening ceremony and the biggest part of the San Fermin festival. There was no bull running on the first day, so we decided to extend one more day to witness it.
So we made notes because there was a lot that happened and we were exhausted by the end of it. We started early in the morning of July 5th. We left Valencia at around 6:30 in the morning out of Valencia North. And that train took us all the way to Tarragona. And then from Tarragona, we had like a 40-minute wait, I think, or something like that, an hour wait.
Yeah, good thing so when we got off the train, we just sat down because we thought that another train is gonna pass by and then we're just gonna hop on the other train. But then good thing I walked upstairs to check where the departure screens were and blah, blah, blah. So turns out you have to go upstairs.
So that they can scan your ticket again.
Yeah, and then you go to the other platform.
Right. So, and then from there, I think there were 5 stops before we were able to reach Pamplona. And the train was full, but you know, we all had seats, so that was great. And then once we arrived, we took a taxi to our hotel because it was really hot actually that first day. I remember my skin felt like we could feel the sun beating on our skin. So we took a taxi to get to our hotel, which was the name of the hotel, the Met
yeah.
Pamplona. Forgot already. The Met Pamplona, which was great, except that it did not have AC. And our room for that afternoon, the sun was beating down on it, and it was a very hot day for whatever reason there in Pamplona. That day was summer. So we had to have the curtains closed with the fan on, so it wasn't very comfortable.
So after checking in and discovering that we didn't have AC in our bedroom, the bedroom was great. Like the bathroom was big,
nice,
and
yeah.
There's cabinets and stuff. So it was just, fortunately, it was colder in Pamplona than it was in Valencia. So even though it was hot, we were still able to grab lunch outside and then go back into the hotel and take a siesta.
Yeah, in the shade, you're fine.
Yeah.
To give you a little bit of a background about the Fiesta of the San Fermin Festival, often just called San Fermines by the locals, it is an incredible 9-day fiesta, and annually it is held from July 6 to July 14. It's renowned globally for the running of the bulls, or called the encierro. But that's really just a super small piece in the morning of a much larger, very traditional and deeply cultural puzzle, right? So the whole thing is a celebration honoring the Saint San Fermin, which is the patron saint of Navarre, the region where Pamplona is located.
It's got roots going way back to the Middle Ages, blending religious devotion with trade fairs and eventually bullfighting.
So we got in a day before the festivities, July 5th. The rates for the hotel for 5th to the 6th was still pretty good. So we got our lay of the land since it was our first time in Pamplona. We met Alejandra and Dylan outside of Kukushumushu, which is a famous local artist's shop, which is known for its like irreverent bull designs. You can actually see that it has like huevos, the bulls have huevos, and it has a countdown clock of San Fermin. Kukushumushu actually means kiss of the flea.
Alejandra immediately dove into guide mode, explaining the artist's role in the modern San Fermin iconography and how the countdown clock reloads after the San Fermin, but it just runs the entire year.
So when we arrived, there were only like 16 hours left before the start of San Fermin Festival. So it was pretty exciting to see.
So after meeting with Alejandra and Dylan at Kukushumusu, they took us first to the Plaza del Toros to show us where the bull run will end. And
Right.
they pointed us towards Hemingway statue, and I
Which is
didn't know how big Hemingway's impact was on this city, but then they told us about his
He actually
own-
loved being there,
Yeah.
right? We know about Hemingway in Key West when we went to Key West, but we didn't know his impact in Pamplona.
Yeah. Then we walked to the Plaza del Castillo, which is the social heart of Pamplona. Like as soon as you walk in through into that square, you'll see everyone's congregating. Everyone's like, I remember we went to the Nuevo Casino,
Yeah.
and we saw that Alejandra's cousin was there outside with her family dining. So everyone knows each other, and that's like the center of where everyone goes.
And interestingly, I think just by looking at it, it looks like it's bigger than Madrid's Plaza Mayor. At the Plaza del Castillo, they pointed out Café Iruña, which is where Hemingway also loved being, and that's where he wrote some of his books. And there is a statue there again of Hemingway leaning on a bar. We didn't get to go inside because it was like chaotic, a lot going on in Pamplona at that time, but that is famous for being one of Hemingway's haunts.
So after showing us Café Iruña, we started walking around the city. Our first stop was the Ayuntamiento, which is where the Chupinazo was going to be. And then we walked through these narrow alleyways and eventually ended up at a bridge overlooking the Rio, which is where there's also a fair on the floor.
Yeah, like the Ferris wheel, we could see it from afar. Yeah, from down below. From up there, we can see it down below.
So it's great because you could see the entire city, but then you're elevated. So we were just looking over the bridge, and eventually we ended up at Calle Santo Domingo, which is where the bulls were going to be held for the beginning of the run.
Yeah, so that's where they will be at the beginning, and then they will be released into Santo Domingo.
And then they showed us where San Fermin was going to be placed and where the song was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They said someone will have like a banner with the lyrics to the song to San Fermin. So you'll see that in the rest of the video. And then to cap off the night, we did a pintxo scroll. Alejandra was excited to have us try this croqueta that had, it looked like a croqueta, but it was nice and big, and it had red peppers in it, and it was a little bit spicy. And that bar actually, I think her father's friend owns that bar, so it was nice, to have someone from Pamplona, like a local, and you get to try all of these local bars with different tapas that what we're used to, and having them know each other, so it feels very authentic and genuine. And afterwards, after that first bar, we went to a different one and miraculously found seats again inside, so that was very nice. Then we said goodbye, I think quite early, 10, 11, we were done.
Yeah, 11:30 was early.
Yeah.
And then we got to our hotel at midnight. So I think pintxo scroll is tradition during San Fermin. So because it's just rows and rows of these streets with different bars in it.
Yeah,
So-
filled with people. The streets were filled with people.
Yeah, it was nice walking through. No one was like crowding anyone. They were just standing, and people just love to talk on the street. So from where we did the pintxo scroll to back to the hotel, it was just a lot of people just hanging out and getting ready for the next day. So it was exciting. We were looking forward to it.
The only thing was that, again, like we mentioned, we didn't have AC in our room, so we had to have all of the windows open to let the cool air in. The problem with that was at 5 a.m. someone was already starting a party. So at 5:30, it was already like there's loud music, and this is like we're 30 minutes away by foot from where the center was, where everything was happening. So whoever this guy was already drunk and was already, waking everybody up. But I didn't hear anyone scream at him to like shut up, because I think that's like adding fuel to the fire. So we just had.
You're just going to encourage them.
So I put on, the eye mask, and I put on
Your tapones.
my headphones. Yeah, I put on my headphones and just went back to bed. And then suddenly it's day 2. It is the day of the Chupinazo. We woke up quite early, but we had time to go get a coffee before we headed to meet our group.
As soon as we go out to grab coffee, you notice immediately a sea of red and white, and people were just so excited. People in full festival gear with red fajas around their waist,
the sash.
which is you knot it to the left, and then panuelos, which are bandanas, wrapped around their wrist because you're not supposed to wear it until the end of the Chupinazo.
Yeah, which means it's like really literally the start of San Fermin. So before that, they just have it in their pockets or in their hands.
Yeah, as soon as we met in Plaza del Castillo first, and then when everyone was complete, then we started walking, and you walk through this sea of people, and I was like, there's no way we could get to our balcony that fast, and then turns out it was easy because, people are just...
Yeah, they let us through, right?
They don't try to block your way. They give way.
Right.
It's just, I think they're so used to having this festival happen that, we never heard of or saw anyone get trampled on or hurt or anything, because people, they just want to, they hold on to each other. At least like the people who know each other, they hold on to each other, and then that's it. Like, they don't try to veer away from the crowd, so it's a little bit more controlled, and you can see from looking from the top, you can see like a flow of people. They're very organized.
Making their way for the chaos that it is. Yes,
Yeah.
very organized. And keep in mind, if you're in this place, there's no cell signal because there's like so many people crammed into one space, so there's no cell reception. If you lose your friends, you lose your friends. So make sure that you stick together. Yeah. So going up to the balcony was very impressive because you could see, if you saw our videos and our live, you could see really the sea of people all in white down below. And historically, that balcony sometimes was used by the TV crew to show the live broadcasts. And that day, the TV crew was one floor above us. It was literally right above us. So we had the best view. And we're so grateful for that experience. And I also felt very authentic because the people that lived in that house have lived there all their lives. Alejandra, our host, she experienced a lot of chupinazos when she was a kid from that balcony. Their parents are lifelong friends. So you would think after so many years, 20 years, they would get tired of it, but you could see in their faces, they were excited for us to experience it. They were excited for us to share everything. And they even secured some pastries called garotitos, which was from this famous pasteleria called Pasteleria Beatriz, which closes on San Fermin. So they actually went to get it for us the day before, just so that we could try it. So I think that was like a nice experience to have locals still feel so excited, and they were showing us goosebumps.
I was getting goosebumps.
Yeah, we were getting like, whoa, this is electrifying. I wish you could be there because really like the pictures and the videos don't do it justice. If you look and you focus on like one part of that crowd, you will see things like people having fun. There was one guy where he reached maybe 5 persons over to this other guy, and I thought they were gonna fight or something, and because he was like being a little rough, and he was like kissing the guy, like hi.
He was grabbing the back of his neck.
Yeah, there were people that were up on crowds, like crowd surfing, and he went quite far. So there were beach balls everywhere. So definitely, like, our videos, I don't think will do it justice. This is something that you have to experience, whether on the ground or up above. I mean, we're grateful that we are safely up above and more comfortable, and we didn't have to be in the throng of it because it gets really like crushing. Like, I think it's very crushed. Hi guys, this is Bea with Everything is Buffo, and today I'm with Alejandra Martinez from Alevia Travels and Extraordinary Balconies. And we are in the thick of San Fermin. This is the start of San Fermin.
We're in Pamplona, yeah.
So, Alejandra's here to tell us a little bit more about this event. This is called the Chupinazo, which is the opening ceremony.
The opening ceremony, that's correct, yeah. So as you guys can see, we're at the City Hall Square. It's called the Ayuntamiento in Spanish. This is where the Chupinazo takes place every 6th of July at 12 p.m. But people usually gather here, let's say after like 10:30, 11 a.m. just to get ready. It gets really crowded. So you want to get a good spot down there, that's perfect.
It is so chaotic downstairs. We can feel and see all of the energy. So tell me, why is the Chupinazo your favorite event?
I mean, I would say it only happens once a year, like one time. It's not like the Rhino of the Bulls, you have it like multiple times per week. So the Chupinazo only happens once. It's the beginning of San Fermin, like the locals and many people from other countries, but we are just waiting for San Fermin to start the whole year. So it's a very emotional moment. It's special because everybody is holding the pañuelos on top. You can feel the vibration on the street. It's like, my hairs, they go crazy. I get the chills. So it's more emotional, I would say. It's the beginning of something big, and it's honestly the best part, the beginning of a whole week of full party 24/7. So I recommend everybody to just come here to experience this. It's just nuts.
And actually, like, I think the party started at 5 a.m. today. Our windows were open at the hotel, and somebody was already blasting music at 5 a.m. And we're like, you have to expect that for the entire week, week and a half, yeah. So
Like, people sleep, but just a little bit.
by 5, they're back to partying.
Not much. But today is a day for celebration. As I said, it's the beginning of the party. So, like, you see, now I'm seeing over there, like, I don't even know how many people on the street. Just crazy. Just partying and partying and partying. And it's about dancing, drinking, eating, and just try to stay awake as long as you can.
Yeah.
As long as your body allows you to be awake. For everybody, for the people that have never been here or don't know what the Chupinazo or the opening ceremony is, as I said, we all gather here at the City Hall Square, and it's really cool because we just wait, extremely excited for 12 p.m. when the people come out on the first floor of the City Hall and they just launch a rocket. They said a few words like Viva San Fermin, Gora San Fermin, it's the same but in Basque and Spanish, and they launched the rocket, and that shows like that's the exact beginning of the party of San Fermin, and that's when everybody puts the bandana around their necks. Before that, don't do that. Wait until 12 p.m. And it's just like you see everybody dancing, everybody jumping. Like the party is just crazy.
And then how do you wear the faja here, this one?
So I forgot my faja today. I was extremely excited and I forgot. But if you want to look like a local, you tie it on the left side of your hip, right? Never on the right one, always on the left one. Important.
And you said that you have been going to the Chupinazo since you were a kid.
Since I was a kid, yeah. I've been lucky enough to see from the ground, from a balcony, and it's always cool. I mean, depending on how old you are, you may prefer one thing or the other, but honestly, just wherever you see it, even if you see it on the street, it's still emotional. It's always so cool. But I mean, I've been lucky enough to live San Fermin since I was a baby. So I grew up with San Fermin, and for all the people that maybe wondering, like, is San Fermin for kids? I would say yes. You just need to know what to do or where to go. But there are a lot of activities for kids, for everybody. Like, it doesn't matter how old you are, where you're coming from. There's always a room for everyone. So, yeah.
And also, so if you want to see the chaos but not want to be in the chaos, you also have extraordinary balconies.
Yes.
Okay.
So we provide a little different experience, right? First of all, as I said, I'm from Pamplona, so my main goal as the founder of this project is to show the people how we locals live this event, right? It's more than just bulls. We have the people, we have the traditional music, traditional dances, the parades, we have free concerts, we have fireworks shows every single night. So much more activities for the kids. As I said, we have markets, restaurants, the fair, all kinds of things. So if you want to see that kind of experience and you want to see it from a very point of view, like a balcony, we have balconies for the Chupinazo, the opening ceremony. We have balconies for the Rhino of the Bulls. They're going to be coming tomorrow with us to one of those balconies. We have multiple balconies along the path, so whatever point of view you're looking for, we can help you with that. And again, we're always really committed with our clients. We want them to have a really good experience. We can recommend restaurants, activities. We can take care of the traditional attire, like anything you want, we can help you with that. We're pretty flexible, so if you're looking for something more immersive and more authentic, I would recommend to reach out to us, for sure. One more thing also, for people that may know San Fermin or maybe are not interested in San Fermin, but they want to check out the north of Spain, which I think is beautiful, of course.
It's marvelous.
It's just a little different than the rest of the country, but it's really beautiful. We can also do like custom travel, like we are pretty flexible. We can create itineraries depending on the demands of the clients. We specialize in Basque Country, Navarra, and the Pyrenees. We can do like gastronomy tours or adventure tours. It doesn't really matter. Just let us know what you want, how many days you have available, and I will create an itinerary for you, completely customized.
All right. Thank you so much for hosting us.
Thank
it was
you.
such a pleasure. So much fun, and we
This
can't
is
wait.
not over. This is not over. We still have tomorrow.
The day has just begun. Really.
Exactly.
Yeah. There's more partying. So, yeah, that's kind of our experience with the Chupinazo. I think it's a great opening, but I'm thankful that we are not down there because they were throwing like sangria around, like in those plastic bottles. So at first they started off as white, and then suddenly all of their clothes down below were pink. So it's a mess down there. And what did you think about the whole like ceremony?
First of all, I feel like Don Simon needs to sponsor this event because every single person we saw had like a big Don Simon sangria bottle with them. But yeah, the energy of that event was second to none. I've never seen anything like it. It's just so, it's like, or it's just organized chaos. It looks so beautiful. Like everyone was ready to be chaotic, but then, you know, they stay in their own space, and it's just...
And the medics were there. There were people up on the balconies. The police were up on the rooftop. So, you know, the helicopters would fly over. So I still had that sense of security, but I also still didn't want to be down there. And then once the ceremony start, you know, we had the TV on so we could kind of like understand what was going on, what we were seeing at the balcony. And the hosts also were explaining what things were. So there was, once they had the bandanas, the red bandanas up like that, that's kind of like the signal that things are happening.
They're anticipating every single part of that ceremony, so they know when to raise their hands, they know when to bring the bandanas outside. It's just something that you need to experience in person at least once in your life, because this is exactly what Spain's energy is. Like you'll see this kind of energy everywhere you go in Spain, but this is just something that when you see it, it's just exactly what it's supposed to be.
Right. To me, like when the band started playing and the people were jumping and then the band was not, you could really see, and everyone was jumping at the same time on, you know, to the beat. That was actually very, very cool. Like that part, I wish I was down there for that. That would be so cool.
And I like that the hosts told us that, okay, at noon, this is what's gonna happen. So that entire 2 hours before the actual opening, we were just hanging out and filming and talking to the other guests. And, you know, it was just such a nice experience because you get to socialize and then you get to share it with these people. I really enjoyed that.
Right, and then afterwards, when it was over, they told us, they gave us water bottles, and they said that we can spray the people downstairs with water because that's what they need. That's its tradition to give them water because, you know, they're down there in the heat. It wasn't very hot, thankfully.
I mean, having wine on your face for a couple of hours, you probably need water to wash it off.
Yeah, so that was tradition too. And yeah, the reason for the red bandana, they said, was because San Fermin was decapitated. So there's some gore in there too.
Yeah. And he got stabbed in the stomach, so there's like the faja.
Really?
No.
Stop it. So that's the Chupinazo. It is the main event. I really think that if for anyone who wants to experience San Fermin, that should be the one festivity that you aim to go to.
Go for that one.
Yeah.
For sure. Also, because the host said, you know, Alejandra and Dylan said that the Chupinazo only happens on the first day. The bull run happens...
You have 8 days.
All throughout the event. So the Chupinazo, you have to be there. If you can't do the bull run, Chupinazo. Because it's just a party. Chupinazo is the beginning of the day. So afterwards, it's just party nonstop.
So after the Chupinazo, we decided we needed some siesta. So we went back to our hotel and then told them that we will meet up with them later at around 5:30 for the
La Comparsa de Pamplona.
So that there's 4 different characters to it. One is the gigantes, which are the really big ones, and they spin around and around, and they parade them. So it's like men under there with these like big giant statues on top of their shoulders, right? And they walk a few meters, and then they spin around, and then they stop, and then they do it all over again. And then the kilikis, there's I think 7 characters. One of them is arrugas, which means like wrinkles, and then the one which Alejandra said was everyone's favorite is cara vinagre, which means like vinegar face, which is like sour face, I guess. And then the zaldikos, zaldikos are the men with horses that look like they're riding horses and they bop people on the heads. So do the kilikis. The kilikis are the same. They go do that. And then the ones that don't bop you on the head are the cabezudos. So they're like regular sized men with big heads, right? So
I think that's why they don't bop you, because they have to hold the head.
Yeah, so it's the cabezudos. So it's the big cabeza, cabezudos. So we followed the kids to see where the route was going to be, and yeah, it was nice to see all 4 of those characters. And I got bopped twice in the head. How many times did you get bopped?
I don't know, 3 maybe. But it was nice. It was nice to see the children enjoying this festival also. And you know, the one thing I told Dylan that it's amazing how none of these children have an iPad or an iPhone in their hands, with or without that parade. Like even if they're playing on the street, they're just playing with their like old toys and stuff. So it's fun to see. So different. They even let you see under the skirt.
Of this,
so they invite the kids
gigantes.
over to take a peek under the skirt, because you get to see like the person or the
structure.
mechanism of how it works.
And then we were able to go home quite early for this. I think around 8:30 after walking around and seeing the festivities, because there's concerts. I even saw mariachi. So there's really a lot of groups of people enjoying. There's like a park for kids. There's in the plaza, the Castillo, there was a stage and there were concerts happening. By the fair, where the Ferris wheel was, there's another, we could hear music from that area as well. So it's a nice, like, big celebration really, where there's pockets of things to do. There's places for you to eat. There's a lottery, like a raffle or something like that, where you pay €1 for a raffle ticket, right? And you get to like win a car. Right? Like you saw there were cars there. Yeah, so you can get to win a car, you could win an air fryer, you know, that type of thing.
Everyone was there.
Yeah, so it's,
Made sense.
So, and then afterwards we said our goodbyes. We're like, oh, we need to be up early tomorrow for the running of the bulls, because the running of the bulls happened at around 8 in the morning.
Yeah. So we had to meet the gang at around 6:50
Right.
at a certain spot, because if you get there late, they close off the streets. So you have to be there early. Like they close the streets off one by one.
So you
because they're
won't
trying
have access
yeah.
to where you need to go.
So you have to be early.
Yeah. Buenos dias, chicos. Right now it is 6:22 in the morning, and we're walking to our meeting point with extraordinary balconies so that we can watch the running of the bulls safely on a balcony. Very comfortable, very nice.
Yeah, and we have to beat the crowd because I think it starts at 8, so we have to be
Is
there.
it 8 o'clock?
Yeah, so we have to be there at 6:50 at the meeting point,
Yeah.
or else I think they're gonna fence off some gates. So
Right. We won't make it. Yeah. So we're up, we're early. So this is part of San Fermin. You sleep late, you wake up early, voluntarily or involuntarily, because like at 5:50, people were blasting music again outside our window. 5:50 in the
I
morning.
think that's their alarm clock.
So yeah, we're walking.
Okay, see you later.
So we were there on time, which is great. And everyone was there, the group was ready. We went up to our balcony, a different balcony this time by Santo Domingo. And that one was the beginning of where the bulls would run. So we could see a lot of people down below, like a lot of runners and medics, by the way, on standby. And they were there stretching. It was, like more solemn, I think, more quiet.
More somber.
Yeah. Like they weren't drunk on the street.
I think that's what I've noticed is, I don't know if it was because it was after there was rain during the morning, or was it because people were not really morning people there, but it was just a different feel to it, a different vibe that morning.
Yeah, and interestingly, so when we were walking to meet up with the group at around maybe 6:30, there were still people wearing those wine-drenched shirts. So they haven't changed, which means they haven't gone home, which means they've been up since the night before, since the day before. So they either have like super low energy already at that point, or because really the streets are filled now with runners. If you're not a runner, you shouldn't be there because it's just too dangerous. Before the event, traditionally they said there's a señora that has a tiny San Fermin, and she walks to this little alcove on the wall right by the beginning of that street of Santo Domingo Street, and she puts that San Fermin there, and then the people sing and ask for San Fermin's protection for this running of the bull. And the lyrics are both in Castellano and in Euskera. Yeah. So you'll hear them chant both.
So it's 7:34 now. You see folks are gathered up near the San Fermin figurine. And in a moment here, you should probably see the first wave start the incantations, the chanting. You'll notice they'll put their arms up first. It'll get very quiet. You'll hear a shh, and they'll start singing. And it's a cool moment. It's a big tradition.
So Dylan, Alejandra's husband, was there for our group, and he was explaining this was like his third San Fermin or fourth San Fermin, something like that. So he was explaining, what the runners were wearing. For example, the experienced runners, the ones who have been doing this all their lives, usually they wear neon, they don't wear the white and red. And they carry newspapers. So usually you can spot them because they want to be seen on TV. That's why they're in neon. And then the newspaper, I think traditionally that's what they use to kind of call the bull so that it runs in the correct direction.
They want to kind of tap the bull with it. You really aren't even supposed to touch them. They'll get close, but really what that is, they're trying to gain the bull's attention. So back in the day, folks would hold those newspapers to try to get the bull to stop maybe attacking someone. So to distract it, to get its mind off of someone it set its sights on. So it's really for the safety of others. Those folks are holding that, but it's become a tradition.
And they're all like stretching. And...
Oh yeah, they don't. You don't want to. You don't want to pull a hammy when a bull's gaining on you. But one thing you'll see is if someone falls, they won't get up if they know what they're doing.
All right.
That's because the bulls, if you try to get up and you're this high off the ground, they will lower their head, and then you are getting pretty destroyed. Right, exactly. You fall on the ground, you stay on the ground, and they will jump over you. They're not trying to step on your head or anything. You might get stepped on, but they will try to jump over you. But if you get up, that's when they lower their head and they start, targeting you. So if you see people trip, you'll wonder, why are they just staying still? Why aren't they rolling out of the way or something? It's because that's what they've been taught. The folks that haven't done it before, don't know, they may panic, get up, and that's when some bad stuff happens,
And then they probably chanted for about 4 or 5 times before the actual launch of the rocket. As soon as the clock hits 8 a.m., you hear the rocket, and then you can see the guys, as soon as the rocket launched,
They're running away.
Their mood changes and they start running away. And you can see the bulls coming after them.
Right. Where we are, all of the bulls are still in a pack because we're at the starting line. So it was very fast. They just whizzed past us. And it was amazing to see how, the crowd parted a little bit for them. But it's scary because imagine 7 bulls running, something like that, running at the same time towards you. And it went by quick. And then we would see on the TV the coverage of them running all the way until they get to the bull ring. How would you say it? To me, it was fast. And oh my gosh, those are big, huge bulls right there. And you can hear the bell of the guide bull. So there's 2 bulls. There's the guide bull and then there's the wild one. So the guide bulls are the ones in the front and they have bells and they run, and then the wild bulls follow them.
I remember the first guy who got trampled on was one of the people in front. And
right.
Of those 7 bulls, I think 5 ran over his legs. So I'm pretty sure he shattered something there. Because he couldn't, I was looking at him, he couldn't stand anymore, he's crawling.
Right, yeah. And then so the runners also, I think it's more of like a community too, because they go back to the injured right away. So once the bulls have gone past, I see the runners go back to the people who have fallen down on the streets. And then, they're calling the medics to go to them. And afterwards, you will also see on the TV instant replays of the people who were either super close to getting nicked by the bull, or if there's an incident of if a bull kind of rammed into somebody, something like that, or if for one of the bull runs, I think on the second day, the bull turned around, which is very dangerous because you don't want them to go back. You want them to just go to the bull ring. Mm-hmm. So that was scary. They said it was one of the longest bull runs at 5 minutes. Typically, it's 2 or 3 minutes.
Less than 2 for sure.
Definitely. Experiencing it from up above a balcony or down below is definitely great. Oh, and then also, last part, if you like this video, please consider subscribing to our channel and clicking the notification bell. Shout out to our subscribers for always being awesome. Thanks to the people who support our channel by subscribing, commenting, giving us super thanks, and tipping us with our Buy Us a Coffee link. If you want to pick our brains and book a 60-minute consultation, we have a link for that, and we can give our honest opinions about topics that we haven't covered in our videos.
Thanks to the people in our Facebook group for being awesome members, for generously helping each other.
Her mom had tickets. They gave us tickets to the Nuevo Casino. So we were able to join and see the locals. enjoy the Baile de la Pargatas. That's how it's called, right? Yeah. And, they were dancing. It was, in this beautiful old building. There was a band playing. We had churros con chocolate. And we, our group also wanted wine. So we had bottles of wine and champagne. And yeah, we were just dancing and enjoying, like seeing everybody enjoy. I thought that was a nice way to cap off the experience. And we want to thank Alevia Travel and Extraordinary Balconies for the invitation and for letting us experience it through the eyes of a local, through the eyes of someone who was born and bred in Pamplona, grew up in Pamplona, has family in Pamplona. We met her family, we met her mom's best friends and the husbands of the best friends, So we really want to thank Alejandra and Dylan for welcoming us into Pamplona, introducing us to San Fermin, to the Chupinazo.
To their friends and their family. Like this is, I think that's what made it special, is because Alejandra and Dylan, they know people in the city. So, you get to share it with everyone.
Yeah, so thank you so much for such an authentic Pamplona experience.
Pamplonian.
Pamplonian?
Ferminian.
Ferminian experience. So viva San Fermin!
Gora San Fermin. Go Bulls!
Thank you, bye.